Yeah, owl tanks. Well, what's up, everybody? Grim Green back here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I got some Advken OWL tanks. I want to show you the Advken. This is the Advken OWL tank that I've been using. It's the stainless steel one. First thing you're probably going to notice, it's a big boy. It's a beefy, big sub-ohm tank. It's got a 25 millimeter diameter on it. This is the bubble glass that gives you 4 mils. Without the bubble glass, it gives you 3 mils. But really, with the tank that's this, I don't know, bulbousy, I would just say, dude, just use the bubble glass. You're going to get the extra capacity, and it's not like it's going to make it look that much more ridiculous. And even though you can kind of sit here and hold this and go, yeah, that's a real big, bulky, bulbousy sub-ohm tank, it's honestly not that much bigger than some other sub-ohm tanks. This is the Falcon Horizon Tech Falcon Resin Artisan tank, and you can see the OWL tank, I mean, with the drip tip included, is a little bit shorter. It's maybe a little bit wider. The Falcon's 24 millimeters, the OWL's 25. A lot of bird-themed sub-ohm tanks going on right now. So at first glance, yeah, it does kind of look big and bulbousy, and it looks bigger and bulbousier when it's on a mod, but just comparing it like side by side to another sub-ohm tank, it seems a lot less ridiculous. So that's the OWL tank that I've been using, but I wanted to open and set up a new OWL tank, and I saw this green one, and I was like, yeah, I want to see what the green one looks like. And then I saw the coffee one, and well, we're going to be opening up both of these because I got to see that coffee color. Obviously mine says sample on it, but this is the OWL tank. Pretty straightforward, simple packaging. A lot of RDAs, RTAs, sub-ohm tanks, they all come packaged like this. Spare O-rings, spare washers, grommets, things like that in here. Vape and share your moments. All right. Oh, the green one looks pretty slick. That is like a slick metallic green color. I kind of like this. And then the second run of Advken OWL tanks are all gonna have these sort of like matchy-matchy resin drip tips. This one with the orange and the green, dude, I'm in. So we're gonna just take this apart. There's your really smooth and glidey AFC. It's a little bit firm to adjust, so it'll stay in position, and there's no clicks or there's no lock. It doesn't stop in any direction. The AFC just kind of spins around. But we're just gonna unscrew this like a regular sub-ohm tank. There's your coil head right there. It comes with 2 different coil heads. I'm not sure why they're differently shaped. This one's square, this one's a little bit swoopier. They're both Baby Beast compatible. One is a 0.2 and one is a 0.16. They say to run this between 50 and 70 watts, which is very, very accurate. I've been running this 0.2 like 62 watts, and it's been perfect. And they are single strip of mesh on the inside. Pull the glass off and you can see the AFC, this top airflow. It's gonna go in there. It's gonna travel down this channel. It's gonna end up down here at the bottom of your coil. The airflow is the reason that this tank is so bulbousy. It's got big airflow tubes. I mean, these airflow channels going to the top are big, so you kind of have to have a little bit bigger of a tank. And now, just real quick, I just want to see this coffee color. Same pack ends. Oh, look at that. Well, isn't that an interesting color? It's almost like a rose goldy type of color. I mean, technically, yeah, I guess I would call this coffee. I've had RDAs in this same coffee color. I just think that's pretty interesting. You don't see this color a lot. And the matchy-matchy resin drip tip is pretty matchy-matchy. All right, well, I'm not gonna use the coffee one. We're gonna set that one aside, and I'm gonna set up the green one. I'm just gonna go ahead and set up this sub-ohm tank. We're not gonna go over every step, but try to keep up. Okay, this is where I actually want to pause real fast. This is one of the bummer parts of this Advken OWL tank is filling it. You have one hole right here to fill it with. Seems like a pretty big shaped hole. The problem is there's nowhere for the air to escape. So your liquid's going in and your air is coming out of the same hole. If you clog this with liquid, that's it. You're done. It's gonna flood, and it's not gonna fill your tank. And I'll show you what I mean when we get there. It's kind of just the nature of this slidey top design, which I really like this slidey top design, but I think there needs to be a place for the air to come out so you can fill it much easier. I've seen other sub-ohm tanks with this slidey top design that actually have an air outlet that exposes itself on this side when you slide it over. It just makes the filling process so much easier. Now, the best way to fill this is to lean it back. Slide this open, lean it back, tilt it back. You're gonna stick your juice nozzle in here, you're gonna lean it way back, and you're gonna fill it slowly. Slowly. Don't just squeeze your bottle like crazy and try to fill this up real fast, because you're gonna clog that juice fill port. slowly. I'm gonna try to speed this up as fast as I can. Yeah, just like that, and now it's full, but you gotta tilt it back, you gotta fill it slowly. That's just how this tank is. Oh, hello, juice on my finger. Now we're just gonna attach this to the V-Zone E-mask, and there you go. That's what it looks like on top of a mod. A little bit weird, I guess, a little bit silly, a little bit bulbousy. It's kind of got that interesting 25mm base, and then it kind of tapers out, goes up, is real big and bulbousy. I don't necessarily dislike the way this looks, but it's one of those things. It just looks the way it looks, and it's kind of big and bulbousy. So yeah, that's enough fooling around down here. Let's get back out to normal view. Let's vape this OWL tank. So yeah, this OWL sub-ohm tank, I've actually been having a really good time with it. The vape quality that I get from this sub-ohm tank is real nice. It is a single strip of mesh in there, so it's gonna perform and taste like a single strip of mesh, which is to say, real nice, real good. Airflow's real smooth. The vape always feels real nice and dense and saturated. I have literally no complaints with the way that this OWL tank vapes in any way. These weird, sort of really excessively angled drip tips that come on here, they are 510, and you can use whatever 510 drip tip you want on there, or 810 rather. Sorry, what did I say? 510? That's wrong. These are 810 drip tips, and this is just a regular third-party, like resiny 810 drip tip. Works on there. Actually kind of looks a little bit better than this really angled design, although I personally really enjoy using this really angled design. I find it very, very comfortable for some reason. Yeah, like whatever. The regular 810 drip tip is fine as well if you don't like this really angly one. I genuinely have very little gripes about the OWL sub-ohm tank. Is it something that's crazy new, crazy revolutionary, all sorts of innovation in it? No. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just a sub-ohm tank. There are thousands of sub-ohm tanks on the market, and this is another sub-ohm tank on the market. I do think that the colors on these are very cool. This green is a real cool green that I haven't seen used a lot, or really, I mean, ever. I can't remember seeing another tank that was this like shade of like metallic shiny emerald green. I think it looks very cool. Even that coffee colored tank I thought looked really cool too. I really only have two big main gripes with this OWL tank. One is the filling system. The filling system kind of sucks. There's no way to visually see where to slide it. You have to look for the breaks in the machining, which is back there, so you slide it right there. Yep, you can figure that out from looking at it, but there's no marker or anything on there. There's not even like a little dot or like a little star or maybe like a tiny, tiny even little owl head up there to signify, to like show you, yes, this is where you slide it from. Additionally, it only has that one hole. So like I said in the up close, your juice is going in and your air is coming out the same hole. And if you get too aggressive with your squeezing of the juice bottle, you're just gonna clog that hole with juice and the air isn't going to be able to get out. It's not going to go in your tank and it's going to start flooding like out over the top. Now, my other kind of gripe with this is, yeah, it's just like a big bulbousy tank. It legitimately makes the mods that I put it on feel more top heavy. It's just kind of a big bulbousy top heavy tank on there, and it didn't need to be that way. I get the idea for like top down and in airflow on things like RTAs or RDAs, where you have a lot of like loose juice kind of sitting around, whether that's in the deck of your RDA or maybe like in the deck of your RTA. But to me, top in and down airflow for a sub-ohm tank doesn't make a lot of sense. If you are releasing a sub-ohm tank, you should release high enough quality coil heads that it won't leak out the bottom in the event that you have bottom in airflow. And if this tank had bottom in airflow, it would be half as bulky and bulbousy as it is right now. I feel like the top-in airflow on this particular sub-ohm tank isn't necessarily any value added. It legitimately just makes the tank real big and bulbousy. And I think that's like the umpteenth time I've said bulbousy in this video. It vapes really well, and I like Advken, and they make quality products. Regardless of how this looks, it is a high quality sub-ohm tank. All the fit and finish on it, real nice. I like the coil heads. They're Baby Beast compatible. I like this aggressively angled drip tip. It's real comfortable. This is a solid sub-ohm tank. I just am scratching my head as to why it's a top airflow sub-ohm tank. Just make good coil heads, and then you can have bottom airflow, and you can have a lot more sleek of a design all around. It doesn't need to be this big bulbousy thing because you included something that didn't need to be included, in my opinion. But with all of that said, it does vape really well. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. You're going to need your vape budget hands. If you want to check out the Advken OWL sub-ohm tank, not really. Clicking around the internet, I found it anywhere from like 25 to 30 bucks, which is very reasonably priced. No real vape budget hands needed. That $25 price point is almost cheap enough just to buy it, just to try it out. If your sub-ohm tank is dead or it's recently broken, which does happen frequently, the Advken OWL tank is honestly a little bit of a contender. It's built real well and it vapes real well. The airflow on it is just nice and smooth and swooshy. I like the dense vape. I like the flavor I get from it. And if you can get around how it looks and how bulbousy it is, then dang, I don't know. This OWL tank might be worth a look. It's not necessarily like my favorite sub-ohm tank I've ever used, but it's far from the worst sub-ohm tank I've ever used. Honestly, like a lot of stuff coming out these days, it's fine. It's fine and it will vape. That's enough rambling from me. I'm gonna wrap this up. It is what it is. Advken OWL tank. No links are allowed in the description, so you're gonna have to use your Google Foo. Thank you again so much for watching, and as always, right there, let's keep on vaping.